Tonight's episode of Q Weekly is proudly brought to you by Fitness First.
Good evening, Bent TV viewers. I am Stevie. I will be your cruise director for this exciting little episode of Q Weekly. If there's anything I could do to make your cruise more enjoyable, please do not hesitate to ask. We have got a lovely little show for you tonight. We have got Q View. We are talking to the gang from Fly on the Wall. Plus, we have our own Elizabeth Blast with Q Calendar. But first, we're going to be catching up with Michael and the gang on Q View to see what the general opinion is on whether there is too much bad news on TV. Let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Michael King and welcome to another Q View here on Bent TV, Channel 31, your community station. Now this week, Q View, we're talking about news, and is there too much bad news, for example? Now, regular viewers would know that I don't actually read the newspaper or watch the news because I find it far too depressing. Well, apart from the business section, because the worst thing that would happen is maybe once a year some stockbroker throws himself from the 30th floor of a building.
That's
somewhere,
right,
exactly.
That's it.
Or some,
well,
exactly, I wouldn't mind. Or someone like, you know, well, someone, I won't mention a name, Carlton Football Club, might get their comeuppance and lose their entire fortune.
Michael, stop.
I like those stories too. But is there too much bad news?
I believe there is, yes, to some extent. We're blanketed with it.
But the question really is, do we, as the public, push the demand for this news, or is the media pushing?
Definitely media-driven.
You think it's media-driven?
I believe it is, yes.
In terms of
ratings, over publicity, ratings, etc. Yes, okay. There is an element of bringing it to the public's attention, but how much do they need to bring it to the public's attention?
Well, that's true, but then they wouldn't get the ratings if people weren't watching it, doom and gloom. What do you think?
Absolutely, but every station's playing the same news stories anyway.
That's
so
right.
It's,
you see the same thing on 3 different
story.
channels. You see the same thing on 7 different news bulletins. I mean,
yeah, I went through quite a lot of time not watching the news for about a couple of years because it was so depressing. Wasn't somewhere in America where they had the Good News station?
There was a show in the United States. It was called The Good News. It lasted about a month because basically no one watched. I would have. I really would have.
Just to see what good news there is in the world.
Well, exactly. Now, current events being what they are, of course, there's terrible disaster of the whole tsunami things, and there are some really good news stories that come out of that. For example, the baby that was found floating on a mattress,
and those that are still alive, and families.
Yes, those kind of good news stories can be terribly uplifting.
Absolutely.
And then a very, very close girlfriend of mine, for example, she's lost her brother-in-law, his wife, and their 3 children, all missing.
Dear.
But then, at the same time, I have a terribly good story. A girlfriend of mine, Donna's in town. She was in Phuket with her son.
Right, yes.
Her parents are in Doyle's in Sydney on Boxing Day having lunch. The phone rings and she's like, don't worry, we're okay. Blah, blah. But who knew? Because it just happened. They're sitting in a restaurant in Sydney.
There's nothing on TV.
So they're going, bloody drama queen.
Yes, they would. Yeah, any parent would.
What's she going on
about? What now?
They get back to their hotel, flick on the
and
TV, and
they
they
think,
it is. There but for the grace of God.
No,
absolutely. But like September 11, that coverage was on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Every day there wasn't even any normal television on.
Point it was.
And I used to make myself leave the house because it was just so depressing.
Well,
and it comes to a point where you just can't take it anymore.
Well, that's it. Yesterday, I didn't have a topic.
There's only so much we can do to assist. We can try and do our best. We can have fundraisers. We can provide funds. Ange, fundraisers.
Yeah, they're having one here actually. Our hosts at the Comic Lounge. It's on the 27th of January, which is a Thursday night. Heaps of comedians are coming. Elliot Goblet, Greg Fleet, Tom from the panel. You might $30.
Bruno the Cheers.
$30.
$30, and all proceeds, every cent goes to the Red Cross. If you want to come along.
Thursday, the 27th
of January. That's
the day after Australia Day. So
I like Elliot Goblet.
Everyone should be in a festive mood. Bruno Lucia, heaps of other comedians. All the people that work here are donating their time. Everything's donated. So please come along. The number's 9348 9488.
That number again?
9348 9488.
Wait,
no, there's not more actually. If you've got any feedback for us at Bent TV, do exactly that. Email us feedback@benttv.org.au, or you can do it the snail mail way.
That's right.
Not GPO, it's just PO Box 6256, St Kilda Road, Central, Melbourne 8008. I nearly said 3004, but it's actually 8008.
Right, good boy.
So, I'm over the news, I don't watch it.
No,
Weren't
me
they doing
neither.
something as well at the festivals coming up, Midsummer?
Midsummer Festival, actually. Bins in and around all the different things that are
donations, that's
happening.
right.
So, yeah, drop some money in a bin. And
So give what
your
you can.
workplace, actually, my work did a quick whip around this week, and just amongst, 30, 40 people, we got $600. So even if there's only 4 of you at work and you put in $1 each, pop down to the ANZ Bank and donate that money to the victims of the tsunami event. I know...
Bring your lunch to work every day or something. Donate that money.
Well, a girlfriend of mine rang me yesterday. I didn't have a subject for today's show until she rang me and said she'd spent 6 days in front of CNN,
Watching
her whole
the
Christmas
yes,
break,
yes.
glued to it, because you can't believe that such a thing can happen.
No, that's right.
No.
But is that good or bad?
That's an obsession.
I think that's
No,
a bit
it's not. I
sad.
Because people honestly can't believe that it can happen.
But
Like,
Yeah, but the more you watch it, the more it's not going to make you violently sink in. It's like
No.
September 11, you could watch that plane
I can
land into
understand
the
being
building
drawn
1,000
into
times
being
and still
drawn
not
into the
believe it.
tragedy, understandably so. But on the same token, the event has happened. So therefore, we move on to the recovery of the event, rather than focusing on the tragedy of the event.
Yeah, I still don't think, though, that it's media-driven. I think it's public-driven.
Oh,
I think
granted.
I think it sort of
To some
feeds off.
extent.
I know
They feed
sometimes
off
the
each
media
other.
think they know what we want.
Yes,
and
they certainly
get it
do.
wrong.
They certainly do.
But I really do believe that's why these shows are popular. It's because they show, and hence the show
What's
in the
the-
United States that didn't rate
Yeah.
because it was good
News. That's true.
Yeah.
Too true. Jerry Springer's an example.
And just quickly before we go, Mrs. King of Reservoir sent us an email, and she wants to know, before you put your rubbish in a recycling bin, should you wash it first?
I always do, just give it a quick rinse.
Milk cartons, cans, yes.
Never do, stuff it. So if you've got feedback, you can go, again, feedback@bedtv.org.au. I'm Michael, this is Ange, this is Chris. And,
See you later.
Yeah, see you soon.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much for that, Michael and the gang. Well, in my personal opinion, the fact that there is so much bad news on TV is the very reason why I have such an extensive DVD collection. Now, I caught up with the gang from Fly on the Wall to see what they've got in store for us for Midsummer. Let's check it out. Hi, I'm here with Grant, Chris and Brian from Fly on the Wall, and they're here, they're performing for us for Midsummer. Now, they're doing a number of performances, and one of them is Falling So Slowly, which we've mentioned many a time on Q Calendar. You guys have been plastered all over it. Welcome.
Thanks.
How are you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Now, first of all, tell us a bit about Fly on the Wall. Who are you guys?
Fly on the Wall Theatre is a theatre group which kind of a new version of Performing Arts Productions Australia, which has been around for about 20 years, doing a lot of site-specific drama. We've put plays on at Old Melbourne Jail, at Ripponlea Gardens, and so we like to put theatre on which makes the audience feel like they really are a fly on the wall, and so it's very real and not theatrical in a sense. But there's a number of people in the group, and people come and go, and we're quite prolific. We've got a lot on, and we've got a whole calendar of stuff planned for this year as well. So
Yes, we've seen quite a bit of it on Q Calendar. Now, Falling So Slowly chronicles a relationship between Bobby, a man from Alabama, and Grant, an African-American musician from Philadelphia. Now, this play, which stars yourself as Bobby and Grant, as opposed to this Grant, this is premiere in Melbourne, and before it's even gone into production, before it's even been shown anywhere, it's won an award. Yay! Yay! That was really high pitched. Because you guys sifted through 7,000 scripts to come across this one, didn't you? Now, so tell us a bit about the origins of Falling So Slowly.
Well, the 7,000 scripts you mentioned. We had a group of directors and other actors to read some plays that we wanted to either put as play readings or productions into last year and also this year. Falling So Slowly was definitely a standout. in particular, the relationship that forms between prior to the play opening, so to speak. Thank you, darling. And between Bobby and Grant, and the relationship that I think the audience or the reader, when we were reading it, went away with after the play finished. And all of a sudden, you got this little insight, a sneak peek into a keyhole of just a couple. Yeah, it's like sneaky peeking into a 2-week relationship that's already been formed and bonded miraculously with two opposites. Opposites being at least physically culturally.
Chris is a little bit taller than I am, so.
And
when I actually sort of read the script, and this is the cliche, I guess, is that it really was a great script. The character of Grant, I just absolutely loved. He leapt off the page at me and he called at me, so I had to do it. Didn't matter. And also, I'd worked with Rob before, and I knew that he was going to challenge me and make me do different things. Just put another feather in the acting cap and really just stretch instead of just coming out and going, "Hello there, I am Grant." It was really a good journey. Sorry, baby. I didn't mean to.
Of course you did. Yes. Of course you did. We've only got a very short time left before we go to a break. Now, Mr. Grant, would you like to do the honours to let people know how they can come and see Falling So Slowly?
Thank you, Stevie. We're putting the play on at the Irene Mitchell Studio in St Martin's. We open Tuesday night, and then the season runs, yes, nudity. The season runs for 3 weeks until the 5th, Tuesday to Saturday nights. You can reserve your tickets on 9685 5111. That's through the Malthouse Theatre.
What?
Excellent.
What? Well, I mean, look. Yeah.
Nudity.
That's a naked...
That's you.
That's not me.
oh,
That's
me.
you.
Okay.
I mean, he's just got the gloves.
Yeah. You know, like,
All right.
like O.J. Simpson.
We're going to a break now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after the break with the guys from Fly on the Wall.
Do you enjoy Bent TV? Do you watch it regularly? Or do you sometimes feel just watching isn't quite enough? Well, then join us on the other side of the screen and volunteer for Bent TV. Help us make queer TV and have lots of fun on the way. You could work behind the camera on location or in the studio. Work with the gallery crew as a vision mixer, director, videotape operator or audio engineer. Make great friends and become part of the Bent TV family. They help bring interesting people and fun events into the homes of Melbourne. We want you.
If you'd like to get involved with Bent TV, give us a call on 9517 0125 or drop us an email to feedback@benttv.org.au. Leave us your contact details, we'll get in touch with you and advise you the time, date and location of our next shoot. If you don't have any experience, don't let that put you off, as all training will be provided. We hope to see you soon at the studio.
Will you be there?
Welcome back to Q Weekly. We're here at Heaven at 151 on Commercial Road. Many thanks to the guys here for letting us conduct our interview here with the guys from Fly on the Wall, who I am back here with Mr. Grant and Mr. Chris and Brian. I nearly called you Bobby from the last interview, I'm sorry. Okay. I've been having that problem all morning. Now, what we're going to be talking about in these next few minutes are the play readings that these guys are going to be performing for Midsummer. Now, the first thing I guess a lot of people would like to know is why play readings? Why not an actual play? No, why would someone enjoy going to see a play reading?
The reason why, because it's pretty swift, it's pretty quick. It's not much of a commitment to the audience members as well. The production has to set like an aura of, you know, an event. Let's plan something around it even. But the play readings, especially the ones at the Butterfly Club, for 3 weeks, it's very relaxed. It's very it's over in a couple of hours. There's no it's not really a big event. The real draw to it, I think, is because productions have or rather play readings have more of a loose feel to it. The productions have, it's kind of a hit or miss with productions. Yeah, it is. It's costumes. Yes, thank you. With the play readings, an audience can, I guess, be more relaxed, as well as the performers, as well as any sort of the directors as well. There's not so much pressure. It's again, more relaxed. I think I'll give the mic over because I'm repeating myself.
You're a lad. Do we enjoy listening to you speak, don't we? Yeah. No. Now, the 3 play readings that you're going to be performing are Naked Will, William and James, and Hardcore. Now, Grant, would you like to tell us a little bit about, well, our viewers, about what the play readings are about?
Okay, the first play we're reading is Naked Will, which is January 22nd at 2 p.m. at the Butterfly Club. Naked Will is written by Blair Fell, who writes episodes for Queer as Folk, the US season. And it's based on Oscar Wilde's The Portrait of W.H., which was used against him in his scandalous trial. Basically, The Portrait of W.H. proposes the theory that Shakespeare dedicated his love sonnets to one of the boy players in his troupe, one of the boys that played the female roles, and that Shakespeare was in love with this boy. So rather radically designating that perhaps Shakespeare was bisexual. And so there's a character of Oscar Wilde as he kind of narrates the action, tries to get Shakespeare and young Willie Hughes together. And it's quite funny, and it goes through time, and
it's saucy.
And it's very saucy. Shakespeare gets naked.
Well, hey.
Yes, William and James is the next reading we're doing the following Saturday on the 29th. William and James is set in aristocratic England, looking at a relationship between an older gentleman named James and his young, handsome partner, William, played by Christopher Pender. Basically, James offers William a proposition that he could have his estate if for 2 years he pretends to love him. And so it's like a prostitution arrangement, but it gets a lot more complicated than that as human nature takes over. And Hardcore, scandalous Hardcore, is set in the gay porn world of London. It's a contemporary play, as opposed to the other 2, about 4 guys trying to make it big in the porn scene. 3 guys have never done porn before, and it's left to the veteran Craig, who's been in 2 porn films and won a Stevie Award for Best Newcomer, to kind of gear them towards performing well. Part of the other reason why I think an audience would be interested in coming to these events is because of our cast, apart from Chris, and I'm trying to get you in, Brian, don't worry. We have Mark Lee, who was in Gallipoli, and we also have Aidan Young, who you'd remember from Black Robe, who's coming down from Sydney to be in Hardcore too. So really, really good cast.
Excellent. Well, this sounds like something that is absolutely worth going to see. This is for Midsummer, remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in the very few minutes that we have left, Mr. Chris, would you like to tell our audience how they can get tickets?
Certainly. You can, the play readings will be at the Butterfly Club in South Melbourne. You can ring them up on 9690-2000, or you can visit their website, the Butterfly Club, all one word obviously, .com, and book tickets there. Fantastic.
Thanks to the gang of Fly on the Wall. Make sure you check them out for Midsummer. Now it's time for Q Calendar, and we are here with Miss Elizabeth Blast with a new board. Hi, Lizzie.
G'day, Stevie. How are you?
I'm great.
And welcome to Q Calendar. This is Melbourne, and this is what's going on in Melbourne this week.
It's like big board, blackboard.
Fitzroy, let's start off with Fitzroy, lovely Fitzroy. The Builders Arms Hotel on the corner of Gertrude Street and Gore Street. At the Builders Arms Hotel, Le Freak is a new arts collective. They used to be, the word is out a couple of years ago, and they're doing 2 shows at the Builders Arms. One is on the 2nd of February, the other is on the 9th, and one is called Stranger Than Fiction, and the other one is called Le Freak, Le Chic, and that's at the Builders Arms Hotel, Wednesday the 2nd and 9th of February, 7 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. $12, $8 concession. How's
Bargain.
that? Get onto it. Now, Vic Presents is after some volunteers. If you want to go to Mardi Gras, and I believe everybody should at least once, marching in the Mardi Gras, Vic Presents, winner of Best Out-of-Town Group last year, is recruiting for their 2005 Mardi Gras appearance. So if you'd like to be involved in this stylish and diverse group, please call 9525 0192. In lovely Richmond, yeah,
That's
lovely
Richmond?
lovely Richmond, yes. At the Melba Conservatorium of Music in Richmond, that's where the Gay and Lesbian Chorus rehearses every Wednesday night. Now, if you'd like to be a part of that, they're recruiting for this year's performances. They've got a new musical director, Jonathan Welch. What more can you ask for? If you'd like to be a part of the Melbourne Gay and Lesbian Chorus, call Terry Borg, the Public Relations Officer, on 0408 8483 779. That number again, 0408 483 779. Older gay men. Are there any older gay men out there? Now, what's an older gay man, Steve? What do you say? I mean, to a 17-year-old, that's 25.
Well, older is basically anything older than you, so a 17-year-old could include anyone who's just turned legal.
Thanks, Steve.
Really?
Right. Older gay men are asked to take part in a PhD study in the University of Sydney of New South Wales, and that involves filling out a simple questionnaire. That's it. And if you'd like to be a part of that, and the findings may be used to establish a more inclusive aged care policy. I think that's important. If you'd like to be a part of that, call Charles Lowe on 02, it's the Sydney number, 911 2287. Now, at the Telstra Dome in the Docklands down here, we have the 2000 National GLBTI Health Conference called Health Indifference 5. Now, that's all about coming out personally, professionally and politically, and there's some amazing speakers there. We've got Greta Kamehameha, if you have seen that movie with Glenn Close in it, about the US chief, the chief nurse in the US Army who got kicked out for being a queer. She's going to be speaking there. Also, we've got Georgina Bayer and Michael Kelly, 2 very important speakers. That's happening at the Telstra Dome at 3:30 p.m, Saturday, the 22nd of January. That's $20 full and $15 concession. I think that's a great one to do that, yeah. On Northcote, sunny Northcote.
We like Northcote.
We do, we love Northcote. Art 6 on Sex at the Vanguard Gallery, 234 High Street in Northcote. From the 15th to the 19th of January 2005. It's an exhibition of brave and controversial works by some of Melbourne's leading queer artists taking on sex and politics. Right on. Okay, so that's in sunny Northcote there, and that's free apparently. The opening is this Wednesday, the 19th. That's from 6 to 9 p.m, so you want to hobnob, have a free glass of champers, and there's got photography, paintings, sculpture and multimedia. Well, that's about it. And don't forget Pride down here. I have to make the most of my map here. Pride March down there, which is Sunday week, I believe. Yeah. Head down for that. We've got Carnival, and don't forget the Midsummer opening this Friday at Fed Square, hitting off at about 7, I think. Yes. And don't forget, if you'd like me to announce anything that you have going on here at Bent TV, don't forget to email me at feedback@benttv.org.au. That's about it for me. Over to you, Steve.
Thank you. Isn't our Q calendar so much more colourful?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, Lizzie, for our Q calendar. Now, that is it for Q Weekly for this week. Now, don't forget to stay tuned at 10:30 this Thursday for Face to Face. And also this Friday, make sure you get down to Fed Square for the opening of Midsummer. We'll be there. Come on down. Come say hello. It's all happening. We'll all be legs in the air, yahooing. It's going to be a great time. Come on down, please, 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 please. Friday, Midsummer, Fed Square. I'm Stevie. Thank you so much for staying tuned for this week's Q Weekly. Have an excellent week, and I'll see you on Friday. Good night.